You want this one?
Here.
Yeah, try this. Wait. No.
Is this one?
Yes, this one. Karina, yes, it's right.
Karina, there's something coming.
Slowly. Go up. No, yes. No.
Wait.
Correct position. Yes, slowly. In the more up again. No, more again.
9, 8.
Yes, now slowly. Okay, fine. It's fine.
Hello, my name is Harun. I'm coming from Kosovo, and we just finished the residency course of SMC here in Vienna. It was really a pleasure to be here for a whole week with people and colleagues coming from all the continents of the world. I had a great chance to meet and learn and to talk with my colleagues coming from United States, Latin America, Europe, Africa, Asia. So really I would recommend everybody to have this pleasure like I had these days.
Just think of all the money this guy. Okay. Okay, who's making the speech? Okay.
Any questions and answers? Any questions, sorry. Okay, I have a question. Have you ever been in a discussion where and someone said something that you thought they were implying, like, well, I think that everyone needs to do their part, and then you say, well, what do you mean? And that person says, what do you mean? What do I mean? How do you feel? What do you feel is what do you feel causes defensive listening?
You want to answer? Or you want me to answer? I think just being in a climate where that is defensive or offensive puts you in a position to be on the offensive. If you're not somewhere that you're comfortable, and if you're not with a group that you're comfortable with, you're going to have that confrontational attitude. So I think the climate is definitely within an organization has to be a little lax and not so antagonistic.
With the Sarah example, do you think it was her fault that she was feeling that way, or was it the organization? She should be more responsible for individual satisfaction, or should the organization sort of babysit her for how she feels or how she should be treated? I don't know. Based on your research.
I love the way you say babysit. That's how a lot of organizations, how a lot of companies feel. Are we babysitting? Are we holding hands? Institutions that do the holding hands, they seem to do very well. And the reason why is because then that person feels that not only are they being treasured because of the amount of output that they're able to give, but also with them as a human being. One of the hardest things is to be told when you enter into a new company is, don't make your home here. And with Sarah, she shut down with being an R&B artist. Later on in the episode, P. Diddy brings in an R&B masteress, who then works with her to try to bridge the hip hop with the R&B. But that's one of the things that people do is that they shut down. They'll say, "This is who I am," and everyone has to adjust. And then, on the receiving end, you can either say, "Okay, well, that's just you," and then that becomes defensive listening. We weren't even trying to hear that person. that the receiving end of person can reply with, okay, well, you know what, let's work something out. I'm sure that you want to be a part of this. We know we want you to be a part of this. So how do we make our common goals? Yeah, exactly, because that's what an organization is. People will come together for a common goal.
How much of it, the organization, the balance between the person deciding the employees deciding the climate versus the company deciding the climate is the matter of size of the company. Like in a smaller company, people get more of a say, you know?
I think it takes a really truly gifted individual to add onto the culture of an organization. There are some organizations, big or small, that are so established in their culture that when an individual comes in, for the first 6 months, you're just learning the culture. You're learning what was done, how it will be done, and if you do this, you'll be okay. And it really takes an individual to come in and reinvent a part of the industry, reinvent a part of the company, bring something so ingenious that the company said, you know what, we like the way Bill did it last year. And so that's going to be a part of how we do it. Actually, we're going to act like it's always been a part of us. And so it takes a really special human being to do that. Any other questions?
In the piece, where should they conform to her, or should she adapt to the organization?
That's back to her question. It's not a this or other. They all should be coming together. And then that's Pete did it. He's the manager. He's in charge. And so he does make an effort to try to bring them together. But he knows that he cannot force them together. That they have to, if they want to reach this common goal, they're going to have to work together. And eventually that's what happens, is that they learn to work with one another. But that takes both sides.
Okay, I'm sure there can be a lot of other questions, and I encourage you to speak to Kalima afterwards. Rodrigo, why don't you get us